What's up? What's up? What it do, shawty? What's up, y'all? So, I haven't like uploaded in a long time. I don't want to hold my phone like this. Like, no, I got things to do. But I haven't been on like in a long time, and I've been saying that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload daily, do the daily vlogs things, especially since I moved here to Atlanta and I wanted everybody to like get to know my experience, know who I am, what I do, like I don't know, just wanted to vlog. Dang, like you guys ask too much questions. But anyways, like I have been having hella issues like completely with my computer. So I have filmed like a whole bunch of videos and I've been trying to like edit it and stuff, but I've been having issues with my computer and like I wasn't catching a break. Then the other day, like I filmed a vlog of like my first official day here and it didn't want to upload. Because then I just was like, let me just try to go ahead and do it on my phone, use iMovie. It didn't want to do that. It didn't want to upload. But hey, guess what, guys? There's a new video coming tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be about me moving here to Atlanta. So it's about time there's a vlog. And then other than that, I will be doing vlogs on a daily. So yeah. But anyways, so right now I'm just like about to edit some more videos real quick. And I was like, let me just get on and, I could do a story time, like a bedtime story time thing. Like, that'd be fun, you know? So if you like that, go ahead and like this video or this live and let me know. Maybe we should do this more often. But, yeah, so I wanted to tell you guys about this time that like one of my friends told me like I was a really negative person and that I put other people down to like basically make myself seem better than other people, which is not true because I'm not that kind of person, BTW, but apparently I am to people. But this takes place like the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, I had this friend, let's call him Jason. So I met Jason because we used to sit in the audience of this game show. I don't even remember the game show called, what it was called or anything. I don't even remember who was the host of it, but clearly it didn't take off and it must not have been that good of a show for me to even remember. But I met him and we was sitting next to each other and we was filming this game show like for the whole week. And one thing that I do like about LA is like you get paid to sit in the audience and stuff, you know? So the company that I had signed up for the audience work through was like a company that gives you a check. He was in this company that pays you cash. So right there on the spot, they'll give you some money. So anyways, he was sitting next to me and we were talking and I felt like we had a lot in common, because we both was going through like the same situation literally around the same time. He was living in his car. He was also like catering to get some type of money and everything. And so, I don't know, we just had like a lot of things in common. He is gay. And so like, gays, like I feel like gay guys and black women like this. It's like a bond. Like we get each other. I don't know. That's just how I feel. So, yeah. So he was real cool and we would go out for lunch, during like the week when we was filming this game show and everything. And we started hanging out a lot more. Like we was talking on a regular, and whenever like I found information about like housing and like jobs and stuff, like I would reach out to him and let him know. And woo woo, it was all good. It's all fun and games and everything. So fast forward like probably about a month later, I ended up leaving for like 2 months. I left LA and I went home for a minute and visit my friends and my family and just needed a chance to like unwind. And then I came back to LA and then I got a job and things was going good for me. And he was still like living in his car. He was not getting a job. And I was still like reaching out to him, giving him like, types of information or whatnot. So like we end up one day, what happened? Oh, I told him, I said, hey, like maybe we could be roommates. And he was like, yeah, maybe. He didn't seem like that interested in it. When I went home, I told him this and he was down for it. Like, okay, yeah, we could be roommates. But this time he wasn't like, he didn't seem like he was interested. And I was like, we both could help each other out. We both cool, why not? And then he was like, yeah. So then he goes, I feel like, if we were roommates, like we would probably get sick of each other. And I was like, no, not really, because like I'm gonna be in my room majority of the time, like on YouTube. And he's like, no, you're not. You're not gonna be on YouTube all day. Not until you start like making some money. And I wasn't even talking about like recording and uploading and stuff. Cause literally like YouTube has become like my television. Like I'll sit and I watch YouTube like all day. That's it. Like I did not watch TV at all. YouTube was that. And so um and then I just started telling him like, like an idea that I wanted to do with like my channel. And I said something along the lines like, hey, like you could be my servant. And I was like, LOL. And then he flipped out on me. Like he just started going the hell off on me, talking about like, you're immature, you need to grow up. That's why I'm talking about we probably wouldn't be good roommates because you always playing around and everything. And I was like, what? And he's like, and I'm not joking either. Like I'm being serious. You need to grow up and you need to start acting like an adult. And I'm like, wow, bruh, like that's how you feel? Like, okay. And I was like, what's wrong with you? And he was like, you're very, very childish. I feel like you always putting people down. And he was like, you always talking about people being obsessed with you and everything. And I was like, homie, like, I was joking. He was like, I'm tired of you always playing. And I was like, okay, fine. You know what? Like, I'm going to just be serious with you for now. And he was like, yes, be serious because I hate laughing and joking. It makes me cringe. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, who says stuff like that? And then he's like, but yeah, you really need to grow up. And I was like, homie, like, I know he was really, really tripping, like for real. I was like, I was joking, like I do that with all my friends. And he was like, well, don't do that with me. I don't like it. And I was like, if you don't like me doing that, all you have to do is tell me, Raven, like, I don't like you playing like that, or I don't like you saying that. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. And I would have stopped. He was like, I feel like you wouldn't stop. You would keep doing it. And I was like, wow, like, homie, seriously? I was like, again, like, I do that with all my friends. Like, my friends joke around with me like that. Like, we can all just be hanging out in general. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, why are you so obsessed with me? Or I even did that with my supervisor one time. I was at work and she kept calling me and I was like, oh my gosh, why are you so obsessed with me? And she was like, bitch. And it was a joke. Like, that's it. Like, that's how I play around with my friends, Since like majority of the time, like we're all serious. We act like we gotta stick up our ass majority of the time because we at work. And when I'm with my friends, like I'm that kind of person that I want to laugh, I want to have fun. I want to take that stick out of my ass, laugh. But apparently, I guess I'm annoying. And he told me that. He said, you're very annoying. And I was like, wow, like, okay. Like, you didn't hurt my feelings, but dang, like, now the truth comes out. And he was like, like, I feel like you saying that you do that to everybody, you always say that to everyone, that means that you must really believe that you're better than everybody. Like, you must think there's some truth to it. I said, dude, it was a joke. And so then I literally texted all my friends and I was like, do you get offended when I say that? They were like, no. And people asked me, like, why did you say that? Like, that was so random. And I told them why. And they were like, he's being too sensitive. And then my friend who's gay, he was like, see, like, he's one of those gays. Like, he's too gay. And I was like, I mean, being gay has nothing to do with it. I mean, it's just him. Like, what? And so, fast forward, like, I was like, can I just get my stuff out your car tomorrow? Because I had my stuff in his car. And because I was staying in an Airbnb. He was like, yeah, you could come get your stuff. And so I'm like, okay. And I was like, and if I offended you in any type of way, like, I apologize. Like, that's not my intentions. And he was like, you didn't offend me. You're just being annoying. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, can we meet up at whatever time? He was like, yeah. So he was like I said, he was living in his car, and he lived, if you guys are familiar with LA, he lived at North Hollywood over there by like the metro station, and like there's like the gym and all that stuff that's over there. That's where he stayed at. He stayed in the parking structure for the gym at night in his car. Yeah. So Um, then I met with him like the next day to go get my stuff. And so again, I apologized to him, for making him feel uncomfortable. And he was like, yeah, like you said it. I was like, I don't know if I said it to you before or what. And he was like, yeah, you have said it. And he was like, the first time you said it was like, ha ha ha. But then now you're saying it again. And it was like, she must really believe that that people's obsessed with her. And I'm like, okay, like. So he was like, I still want to be friends and stuff, but like, let's be serious and let's motivate one another. And we don't have to talk about like people being obsessed with other people and anything like that. Let's just be uplifting and positive and not be a negative person. And I'm like, bruh. Like, if I wanted to be a motivational speaker, I would have been a motivational speaker. I wouldn't be pursuing acting. I would be making public service announcements. Like, what the hell? So he was like to me, he gave me my stuff, and then he was like, yeah, like we could still be friends. We could still hang out and talk and all that stuff. But then I was like, okay, ha ha ha. And I never kept in contact with him. Like, after that day, I never talked to him anymore. Like, I lost his number and everything because I felt like I don't want to be friends with someone who don't want to have fun. Like, I don't want to be friends with anyone who feel like I'm purposely putting them down or anything. Like, have a sense of humor. That's all it was. Like, what the hell? So yeah, so before I left LA, and I did end up seeing him like literally like probably like 4 days before, and it was at the show. He's still in the same situation, and I'm just like, I was just trying to like be a good friend and help him out, but apparently, that backfired, and apparently like I'm a childish person and I'm annoying. So that's that. And so yeah, then a similar situation happened. Was it 2000s? Yeah, it was that same year. I'm meeting hella crazy people in LA. So there's this other girl. I met her. We gonna call her hoe bitch, cause this girl, she was a hoe and she was a bitch. So she was in a similar situation as well. She was like couch hopping, and that's how I had ended up meeting her, was because of the couch hopping and stuff. And so me and her, we was like hanging out like on a regular. And so I had my stuff like in an Airbnb, and this is literally the week before I met her, and like all my stuff was stolen. Like all of it in the Airbnb. Like my birth certificate was stolen, all my clothes, my shoes. I literally had nothing left besides a few little things. So I ended up meeting her. I told her like, yo, you might want to keep an eye on your stuff because this is what happened to me. And she was like, dang, like that's effed up or whatever. So then we started hanging out like on a regular, and we was going places, and we was getting hotels and stuff. Like it was fine. And all of a sudden, like, she would be real petty. Like, she would come at me talking about like I was ugly, and like I shouldn't wear my hair like that, and like, that outfit makes you look like a crazy person, or that like I said, like, what was it, in my last live video, I was like, I was looking at my phone and I looked up and she said I look like one of them crazy people that's on Skid Row. Like every single day, like out of her mouth was something negative towards me. It was like constantly. And I just didn't even like, I don't know. I guess I was like still her friend. Well, I wasn't even her friend. I guess because we were going through the same situation, you know, like we could work together. That's what I felt like our relationship was, you know. But then like I don't know, like when I started, like, cause I started reviewing Japanese, cause you know, guys know I'm into K-pop and the Japanese culture and Asian culture, whatever. So she tells me like that was the first thing she said. She said like, "Oh, why you learning Japanese?" And I was like, "Well, it's a review because I learned it already, you know, but I haven't been sticking up with it like in a long time." And since I had developed an interest in K-pop and stuff, it just made me want to go ahead and refresh my memory on it. And then after like I review Japanese, then I'm gonna learn Korean, you know, whatever. And she was like, "This is so crazy. Like I have this friend who she knows Japanese too, and she's like into the Asian culture, and she listened to like J-pop and K-pop and all that stuff." Hi. And I was like, "Really? Like, that's cool." She was like, "I feel like you guys would be best friends. Like, y'all would get along great." And I was like, "That's cool, you know?" Because, like, I don't meet a lot of people who's really, like, into the Asian cultures like that. And so she's like, yeah, the next time, like, I see her, I'm gonna tell her about you, or whatever. We all could hang out, or whatever." And I was like, "Cool, cool, cool. That's straight." So one day, like me and her, like I said, we were together like every day, like daily. So one day, like I got booked for something and she didn't. So she was like on her own. So apparently the one day that I'm not with her, she's like hanging out with old girl. And old girl's like, "Well, like I feel like she's not even into like the Asian culture. I feel like she's one of those people that's just learning it for the time. Like she's just into it right now just to be like, hey, I'm learning Japanese, you know? Like she's not going to take it seriously. She's not going to stick with it." And so ho bitch was like, "Well, how you gonna say that when you don't even know her? Like you never even seen her, never had a conversation. You just making assumptions." And I felt like ho bitch was making that up. Like I felt like she was just saying that that's what she wanted to say towards me, but couldn't. Like she didn't have the guts. I don't know. But anyways, so one time we didn't have like anywhere to go, right? So she was like, "I'm gonna ask my friend and if we could go to his house," because we didn't have no money. We was like dead ass broke and we didn't have money to pay for Airbnb. And so she was like, "I'm gonna ask my friend if we could come to his house." And I was like, "Okay." So basically, this was like daytime, in the daytime or whatever. So, and I had to go to work afterwards too. So we went to his house and he didn't answer. And I was like, "Well, I have to go now." So I just ended up leaving, whatever, right? And so like she went there. She was like, soon as he like soon as you left, he had answered the door. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So then like a few days later when we didn't have nowhere to go again, she was like, "Oh, you want to just go to his house?" His name was like Thomas or something. And I was like, I mean, I guess if that's okay with him. I don't really think so, you know. And so she was like, "Okay, well, I think we should because we don't have no other option." And I had already met this guy by this time too. And he was like, when she said he was her friend, I thought like he was in our age group. Nah, homie, this dude had to be like in his 70s. Like he was old. And so she was already telling me like comments like that he would make towards her, like, he would say like he wanted to have sex with her and that he really loved her and that, you know, she could just stay in his house. But, you know, it comes with a cost, you know, but she didn't really feel comfortable doing that because she felt like if she stayed with him, then, you know, he would rape her. So I was like, "Okay, so why should we go to this dude's house?" But she felt like it was like our only option, and she felt like he wasn't going to do anything since it'd be like two of us. So I'm like, okay, well, we can go try. We literally go to this dude's house, right? He slams the door in our face. And I feel like he slammed the door in her face. Well, our face was because, like, 2 days prior, like, he had texted her and wanted to hang out with her. He was telling her something like, you up here playing around and you want to sit here and you want to act like you a virgin and you're not a virgin, and you trying to act like you innocent and you're not innocent. This dude, mind you, he's like, oh, like he's talking to her like that. So she blocked him and she never responded back to him, like, again. And so just to randomly show up at the doorstep, like, obviously he was going to slam the door in your face. Like, what did you expect? So she ended up knowing this other guy. She was like, okay, well, I'm going to ask my friend if he could get us a hotel. And I was like, okay, like, all right. So she got her, she called him. He had booked us a hotel. And he was like, okay, meet me here at this place, or whatever. I don't even remember where it was, but we went down there and we waited for him for like a half hour. He was hella late. And so we went over to the motel and we stood there, and finally he shows up. He pays for it and he sees like two girls, and that's me and her. And he's just looking like, because I think he thought he was going to have like some with like her. I don't know. It was just seemed kind of hella suspect. Like, I don't know what the heck was going on. Like, I just felt like she was like, I don't know. But she told me she did fuck him. She said, she was like, I mean, I fucked him multiple times. And she used to like babysit his children. And he's married and everything. But she said she fucked him. And she was like, not for money or anything like that. It was just because she wanted to. And I was like, interesting. Like, okay. Learned a lot about her that night. And then, she started talking to me like, oh, have you ever like hooked up with girls and stuff? And I was like, no. And then she was like, she said she never hooked up with a girl, but like if she did, it would be like her manager, her old manager at her old job, that when she lived in Atlanta. And she was like, I'm pretty sure like my manager heard me because of the computer monitor say that. And so ever since, she's been acting weird. I don't know. So I was like, so like you're a lesbian, like you're bisexual, whatever. She was like, no, I'm not. She was like, I just feel like that's the only girl like I'm in love with. I was like, okay. So like, anyways, after all that, like, she calmed down as far as like putting me down a little bit, but then we would go places, like we went to Subway and I'll tell her a situation and she doesn't like, I told like that time I told you at Subway, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you never told me that. I was like, yes, I did tell you that. She was like, no, you didn't. And I was like, girl, I know what I told you, because I remember the conversation, because she's like one of them people that does all the talking, like, when you have those friends that talk too much, that was her. And so she was like, I think you're like crazy or whatever. And that same day we was going to, was it the social security office? No, it's not the social security. I don't know. One of them off, maybe it is the social service. I don't know. So, but it's like one of them places where you get like hotel vouchers. So we went there and she got the hotel voucher and I didn't. Like, I didn't qualify for the hotel voucher. So basically, she was kind of acting shady towards me like that whole day. And so she did wait for me because it took longer for me than it did for her. So she waited for me. And then I guess she just like gave up and then got on the bus. And then when I got on the bus, I happened to see her, whatever. So she got off of the bus. And I ended up running to her like a few days later. And she was like, like we haven't been talking in the last few days. And I just felt like you was just jealous of me because I got the hotel voucher and you didn't. And I was like, girl, I was not. Like, I just went to a friend's house and crashed there. And she's like, I mean, like, I just feel like a lot of times you just be jealous of me, And I'm like, oh my gosh, here she goes with this crap again. And then we kind of got into it or whatever. And she's like, like, I feel like you always take offense to what I say and all this, that, and the other. And I was like, no. I was like, you always putting me down. And she was like, like, I just be trying to help you out because, like, you know, our look is our image. You know, we're in the industry and we have to carry ourselves in that way, you know. So like I feel like I'm just trying to help you out. And I was like, but if you know, like my stuff got stolen and I'm trying to get back like on my feet, why would you like knock me down some more, you know? I feel like if anybody thinks anybody is better than anybody, it'd be you thinking that you're better than me or like whatever. And I was like, but other than that, like how how am I like being a negative person towards you? And she was talking about like I'm always being negative towards her because like of the situation that we be in. And she feels like a lot of times when I say stuff, like she takes offense to it. And I was like, but it's little stuff. Like when I told you guys last time, I was like, when I said, why you don't have no friends? And she was like, ha 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 ha. Like, you know, she felt like I was joking. But at the same time, she took offense to it. And I was like, but that's nothing like compared to, you know, what you say to me on a regular. And so she just basically told me that she feels like, you know, I need to change my whole personality and change my attitude because she feels like I'm not going to go far like in the business, or she feels like I should be like one of those people that's like everybody else in LA, cuz like people have that attitude in LA for some reason, like, "Oh, you're in LA now, so act like it." Like, what? No. And it's just like with people, because people take offense to me. Like, they get mad at me when I say, like, no, or like if I don't agree with them. You know, it's always like I'm the bad guy. And they could sit and they could say whatever they want to me, and they expect me not to say nothing and just sit there and take it and then get offended when when I stand up for myself. Like, I don't know. That's just been like that my whole life when people could feel like they could say whatever they want to me and they think I'm not gonna say nothing. And so they'll try to like punk me, like they think they could walk over me or whatever. And so when I say something, they shocked and I'm always the bad guy. That's, I don't know, it's crazy. So yeah, so pretty much like one day what happened, we had this big falling out, like on some crazy stuff because she reached out to me and she was like, hey, like do you want to go like half on this, it was like an office. And I was like, an office? She was like, yeah, it's $600 a month and you could pay three and I could pay three. I'm like, for an office? She was like, yeah, we can just stay there. And I'm like, um I don't want to stay in no office, that's weird. And so we basically she just it escalated because like I don't even really remember. I just remember something about me not texting her, and then I don't know, like it was just hella weird. And then it just brought up all that old stuff again where she was talking about like how I act. And so then I was like, you know what, I'm done with her, and I had cut her loose, and then I didn't talk to her no more. And the last time I actually did talk to her, it was about the time that me and old girl had that situation. You're behind the window. But when me and old girl had that situation, um, that I was telling y'all about, like how when I was helping her when she was homeless and let her stay with me, with that girl, like Hope bitch and that girl, they had you where you at then? Um, them two, they had basically like ran into each other because when old girl came up to her, old girl, whole bitch went up to like what's her name? What did I call this girl? Rebecca or something? It's cold outside. Where are you? Um, and basically like she was like, hey, like Rayven, um, open the window. The window is open. Okay. But yeah, so like, Rayven or whatever. And then a girl was like, Yeah, I know Raven, like, why, but who are you? Like, she was like hella confused of who this random chick was and why this girl randomly knew her name. And I don't know, a girl was kind of low key acting like a stalker, but I ran into her like at a show and we had to sit next to each other. And I was so irritated because we had to sit next to each other. And so she was just basically telling me her side of the story. And she was trying to say that the other girl was a crazy person and that she was lying to me and, all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you. I try to. So, what are you guys doing tonight? Smoking. Sounds fun. I can't do that. I have a job at Delta, so can't do stuff like that. Mm. Y'all have to give me ideas of what I should do for my channel because I have no idea. Yeah, they do test you. Good night. I hope you get better. Twerk. Yeah, Delta, like, they're really, really strict as far as getting a job with them. So, and you could get them random drug tests and stuff, and I ain't got time. Ain't got time. Not today. Yep. Yeah, things are going great in Atlanta. I move into my apartment tomorrow. Thank you. So yeah, I'm excited to be moving. So it's my last night in this Airbnb. It's a really nice Airbnb. I got literally like my first day in Atlanta was kind of annoying. And I was like, why did I move here? Like, I just was like, yo, I miss LA. It was like homesick, even though LA is not my home, but I was like homesick. But like, everybody said there's a lot to do down here. So I don't know what to do yet, because I haven't really had the time to go really explore the city. But it's some things that so far that I don't like. I had people instantly, like within like my first hour there, like here, like people was asking me for money. And I'm like, no. Do I know you? Like, I don't mind like helping the homeless people. No, I left LA. I just left. So now I left LA and I came to, I went to Arizona for a little bit and then I came here to Atlanta. It's like, I feel like it's more opportunities right now, career-wise for me. So yeah, and it's cheaper. And it's a lot of fake people in LA, so I just couldn't deal with it. Um, I have some friends from like high school that I know. And some guy, he used to go to my church back then. Those are the only people that I know. But other than that, nah. A reality show. Like a reality show is like the only way I feel like you can make it these days. Date a celebrity and get famous for no reason. I was staying in the Airbnb because like I just got here in Atlanta on Sunday. So I move into my apartment tomorrow. So I just stayed like this whole week in the Airbnb. Yeah. Yeah, I have to stay in church. It's kind of hard. Well, it's not hard, but I was just like, the thing is, like, when I was in LA, I would go to one church of LA, and that pastor there, he is so dope. And like, he's like one of them people, like, every time I would go to his church, he would be like in my head. It's like It could be something like I prayed about earlier in the week and he's preaching about it like every time. And one day, like one Sunday, I was like, yo, I need a break from him. This is creepy. But yeah, I miss him, so I just watch him online. But other than that, like I have to go church shopping, you know. As PK's got to stay in church. But yeah. And I met oh, never told you guys that I met Josh Peck at Target. You guys remember him from Drake and Josh? He was like, because at the time, like it was in Culver City because I had worked at Target, and like I used to have to work like the floor, and so they had asked me like if I would go on the register, and I was like, yeah, he was the big one, but he's really skinny now, and so I went to the register, and like, yeah, I'm a PK. I love the Drake and Josh. My brother loved that show. And I was like, sure, I'll go to the register. So I went to the register and they was like, okay, this lane is open. And he was like the first person that walked up. And at first wasn't paying attention. You know how you just, when you at work, you don't look at people's face, you just start just scanning stuff. So I scanned it and then I happened to look up and I looked back down and I looked back up and I was like, hey, like I'm a fan. And he had that look on his face like, don't say shit, like be quiet, you know? And so I was like, I'm a fan. And he was like, thank you. And I asked him like if there was any projects and stuff that he had coming up. And he was like, yeah. And so he started naming them. And then I had to ask him his birthday. And he told me, and there was this old lady that was in line behind him. And she was like, you're in your 30s? You don't even look like you're 30. And then he was like, yeah, like I have gray hair and all that stuff. And I was like, wow. Yeah. And so I told him that I was pursuing acting as well. And he told me like good luck and like he wished the best for me and he hoped that one day maybe we could work together. I was like, yes, auntie. But yeah, so that was cool. And who else did I meet? I met Timberland, if you guys remember him. He was like the guy that was always producing Aaliyah's music. And he was like always with Missy Elliott and all that back in the day. So yeah, I met him because there was this show. It was supposed to be like this singing show, and I don't think it ever like picked up. But I had went there to go get some extra money, and I had to stand right behind him, and he had looked at me. And he was like, "You look familiar. Do I know you?" And I was like, no. And then he was like, you sure I never met you before? And I'm like, no, like, and I thought this was a big deal because it's Timberland, like. And he was like, oh, and he asked me like what I did. And I told him like that I was new to LA and I was pursuing acting and all that stuff. And he was like, oh, that's good. And then he started like giving me advice and talking about like, never give up and always have faith in yourself. And, got to stay prayed up and just, how to handle no. So yeah, it was fun. I met a lot of celebrities. I even like one day I had ran into Logan Paul at In and Out. You guys know if you like follow him that he's like always at In and Out. But I was there and he was standing next to me and I didn't even know who he was like at the time. So all of these people started going up to him and they're like, oh, we love you and all that. And he's like, I love you too. And people was like asking for pictures and moms like breaking their back to go over there. Like, my son loves you. Can I take a picture of you? And it was just crazy. And I'm just standing there like, who the hell is this kid? Like, and yeah, I didn't know who he was. Apparently he's a big deal, but I don't really like keep up with like YouTubers that much. What are some YouTubers y'all watch? Like, who do you watch? So I like watch I watch DGG and I watch like McQueen and Choice TV, like the drama channels and stuff, Martin Lewis. Those are like the main things I watch. And I just like to catch up on like some shows and stuff. Like I'm so behind. Hi. On this R. Kelly crap. I'm honestly so sick of hearing it. It's irritating my soul to the fullest. Oh yeah, I love Kendall Ray and Jenna. Oh my gosh, I have not watched Hey Paris in like a minute since she was talking about her Sephora manager. Dang. The title, why? Oh, because I had gave like a whole story time in the very beginning. Yeah. I was just telling them about like how someone basically felt like I was just a negative person and thinking that I was better than other people. Because I always joked around with like my friends and stuff and be like, oh, why are you so obsessed with me? You know, things like that. I was just watching Flight Reacts video too. Like him responding to like the whole thing with McQueen and Diamond. I'm like, y'all trying to be loving hip hop. Like this fake ass storyline. It's getting old. Bruh. And I think I'm gonna go to VidCon this year. But I don't want to go by myself. I need to find somebody to go with me. My sister, she went to VidCon last time. Um, and she was so mad at me. She was like, you left me by myself there. Yeah, I don't know. Fight is too dramatic for me. I can't. Some of these subs is from like a while back. Like I feel like a majority of my subs came from when I did a story, well, a bunch of story times about like my paranormal stuff, and that's really what got me a lot of views. Love and hip hop is just like a bunch of ratchet people just throwing glasses at each other, like throwing drinks on each other all the time. It's just ghetto. You welcome. But yeah, I don't really care. I mean, love and hip hop, like I don't know, it just depends like on who's on it. But like lately I feel like it's boring. Like back in the day, like it used to be good. Like when they had like Kimbella and all them on there, it used to be good, but now I don't know. The seems fake. Especially like I feel like this whole thing with like Love and Hip Hop Hollywood is gonna be fake because like apparently I don't know like how old you guys are, if you guys know who B2K and all them is, but like Omarion was in a a serious relationship with April for years, and they had two babies together, and like now there's rumors that Little Fizz, who was also in the group with Omarion, like is dating her. And then they're sitting here like on live stream talking about they're not dating. Like they're just best friends. But how they were acting like they were dating. They were like all booed up. Speaking of booed up, now let me ask you guys y'all thoughts on this. Okay, because apparently like me and this dude, like we were really good friends, right? And we were like hella close. But come to find out, he was like talking to me and some other girl at the same exact time. And so when me and him really started talking, it was like around Sweetest Day. So I don't know, because a lot of people don't know what Sweetest Day is, but Sweetest Day is like a Valentine's Day, but this time the girls like treat the guys, whatever. So that is like usually the second Saturday in October. So like we were hanging out, and that's when it was like we got hella close, like, you know, like our whole relationship kind of like changed. But then like eventually he kind of started like like disting his, I'm not gonna necessarily say disting, because we worked together too, but he was disting himself from me like when we was at work. Like he didn't really want to talk. But I had noticed that he started acting like that when this other girl had, ended up sitting next to him. And so I was like, oh, it has something to do with her. Like, she's the reason. And basically, come to find out that it was true. But he was still like hitting me up too. Like, as soon as we get out of work, he's blowing me up. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you want to be like that. So let me tell you guys. So I have this friend. Let's call her Danielle. And this guy, let's call him Trey. So Danielle, she's 45. She's old. And Trey, he's 24. So sweet as day, like they had hooked up. And basically, like people at our job ended up finding out. And I was like, oh, how they find out? And Danielle was like, she didn't know how they found out, but Trey was hitting her up, going off on her because he felt like Danielle was the one who told. And she was like, I didn't tell nobody, we keep it professional at work. And he was like, well, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, okay, well, nobody really cares, because even like Danielle, like she didn't even care like that people at work found out. It's like, oh well, they know, don't care, move on. But he was just really pissed because he was messing around with this other girl now, and she found out about it, and it pissed her off because he was lying about it, and they were like having unprotected sex. And so it was like, okay, Trey is fucking the trainer, then he's fucking Danielle, and like who else is he fucking? And now she's fucking him too. And so she feels like, yo, like I could catch anything, and they're not even using protection. So she went to like the gynecologist to get tested and everything. She's fine or whatever. But all this escalated into like this big ass drama. And so this one girl, the girl who told this girl who's messing around with Trey, she told me, she was like, basically like, oh boy, the boy that I was talking to, he had already told this girl that's messing with Trey now, and the girl that he's talking to as well. So when she told the girl that's messing with Trey, like about the whole situation, it was like confirmation. And so I reached out to the dude that I was talking to, and I was like, hey, like, your name came up in the conversation. Like, did you tell anybody about them? And he was like, nah. And he was like, he was getting mad at me because I wouldn't tell him who told me. And I was like, I'm just not telling you because like they told me in confidence. Like, I'm not that kind of person. Like, that person is my friend, and me and you, we cool and stuff. But like, I'm not getting in the middle. I'm just giving you the heads up just in case, Danielle and Trey come to you on it. So like, fast forward a week later, and the girl that's messing with Trey now, she comes to me, and we're like literally in the bathroom, and she's looking at me through the mirror as I'm washing my hands, and she speaks, and I'm like, hi. And she goes, you're Rayven, right? And I'm like, how the hell do you know my name? Like, that's creepy. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I'm so sorry for getting you involved in this or whatever. And she was like, she started telling me her relationship with old dude, with Trey. And so I was like, oh, okay, like, well, I'm glad you're okay, whatever. So she went back to her desk, and then I told Danielle, and Danielle was like, well, if she wants to talk, we can talk. And so she emailed her, and the girl was like, I don't feel like we should have a conversation about it, but we can. So at lunchtime, they had a conversation. A girl pulled out her receipts and told her what was up with her relationship with Trey. And Danielle did the same thing, pulled out her phone and showed her messages and everything, because he was even hitting her up within this whole week. Well, in that whole week or whatever. So a girl went back to her desk, and she texted Trey about everything. And then he went to Danielle and started going off on Danielle because, like, he's like, you opened your mouth and you need to shut the fuck up and, take care of your kids and, all that. And calling her a dumb bitch and stuff. And then I was like to her, I was like, but my thing is how I get in a situation. She's just like, he feels like he thinks you told that girl. I was like, I didn't even know who that girl was until she approached me in the bathroom and she was like, I know. So at the same time, he blocked me on Snapchat, which I don't care because I don't watch his Snapchats anyways. Like, you're boring. And then he blocked her on Snapchat as well. And then we was singing like happy birthday to my coworker, and I posted it on Snap. And the dude that, that I was talking to, like, he replies to the video and he goes, thanks a lot for throwing me under the bus. And I was like, how did I throw you under the bus when all I did was tell you your name was brought up in something, and I heard that you told such and such about Trey and Danielle. I was giving you the heads up. And then he was like, I didn't tell nobody shit. It was you. And I got my confirmation. It was you. You got caught in your lies and you threw me under the bus. And I was like, wait, how did I throw you under the bus when I told you what was up? So now, like, he has like this big like attitude towards me or whatever. And he said we can be friends, but it's going to take him a while to like regain his trust in me. And for me, it's just like, okay, like if you feel like that, like you feel like you can't trust me, then what's the purpose of us being friends, And if we did become friends again, like I feel like you would be um like in the back of your mind, you're gonna feel like, hey, she threw me under the bus once, she could do it again. And I will be like, well, he got mad at me for no apparent reason, like, should I not tell him stuff? Like, I even was like, dang, maybe I shouldn't even told him, like, his name was brought up, and then maybe things would have been different. But honestly, I didn't understand like why the hell he was mad. But I just got like, I think he's mad at me because um basically, since I didn't tell him who told me that he had told these two people about, Trey and Danielle, that he think I made it up, and that I went and told people, and to cover my butt, that I said that he did. And that's not even me. Like, all I did was tell you what was up. I'm just like not going to throw one of my friends under the bus for no apparent reason. But he has like a habit of getting mad over like the littlest thing. But we didn't even have like a talk, or we didn't even like communicate to get this whole thing resolved. So I was just like, y'all, I don't know what's up with people, man. Like, you mad at me? Okay. Like, be mad at me then. Like, I'm still not going to give you no information in regards to who told me. Everybody was like, that's childish. I don't understand why he was mad at you. Even like I went to the other girl that he was talking to, and she told me, she was like, me and him literally had a conversation, and I asked him if he knew about them two hooking up, and he got mad and he was like, why is that any of your business? Like, why do you care? What's it to you? And so based on how he responded, that just confirmed that he knew. Like, she got her answer. And so after that, she stopped talking to him too. So now he's left with nobody. So yeah, that's where we are. I was like, niggas, man, niggas. But my other friend who is friends with him, he was like, he just got some maturing to do, Like, he just don't understand. I was like, he should know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say about niggas. But my whole thing about like Trey was, you up here just because you don't know who told anybody, like, or who the one that went and opened their mouth about the whole situation, and that you're now pointing fingers at everybody just to throw them under the bus, make it seem like it's everybody else and not you. Just like own up to what you did, like, But the thing was, like, because I didn't even understand why it was a big deal in the first place, because Danielle and Trey, they hooked up in October. It's now freaking, it will, at the time that this other girl and Trey hooked up, it was now the week of Thanksgiving. So why is it like this big ass drama about like these people hooking up? I mean, I get it for her purpose because, you know, he's going around and he messing with all these people. But like at the same time, like it shouldn't even be that much drama. Like you're too old for that. Because all of us is between the ages of like 23 and 28. And then the oldest person is Danielle. She's 45. And I was just like, man, y'all are really too old to be acting like that. I don't know. But I'm trying to debate like if I wanted to go to like my high school reunion. Because, guys, like in June, it would be 10 years since I graduated high school. 10 freaking years. Like my life went by so fast. Like after graduating high school, it just seems to, I don't know. I'm old, y'all. I'm up there. My sister Kiera, she was like, from when it was my birthday, she was like, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, I can't call you old anymore, or you know, all that. She was like, so what do I say? So my cousin comes out of nowhere talking about you gotta call her ancient. Ancient? How old you think I am? Like, what? I'm not that old. Do you guys keep up with the Ace family? I've always thought they were like so cute. But I never understood the timeline of like their relationship, Austin's and Catherine's. Because I done heard like 15 different stories. And then she go with Michael B. Jordan at one point in time. So it's just all that stuff that makes sense to me. I'm getting off in like 4 minutes though because I need to finish editing and I need to get some sleep and I need to finish putting this stuff up. It's not that much. I got so fat, guys. Like, honestly, like since I've been in Atlanta, like I haven't really been eating. But for the past, like, just in general, because like I wanted to give up like meat, because eventually, like I want to go vegan, and I've been talking about this for like years, but I just haven't like. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if I want to go. Like, I mean, like, there's some people, like, because I was only really cool with the guys, you know? I wasn't cool with the girls. The girls didn't, like me. And I never did nothing. But they didn't like me. It was just like everybody seemed to follow this one girl. And I was like, there was a few girls that I talked to. And, like, a couple of them, they live here in Atlanta. But, I don't know. It's like, what's the purpose? Because we all have Facebook. And so I know what you all are doing anyways. So, yep. And it was just like funny to me too, like with the people that I went to high school with. Like, there's this other girl, she was like pursuing acting as well. And people used to talk mad stuff about her, you know? And like, and then they look down like amongst like when you say you want to be an actor, people like happen to look down on you. And now I'm seeing all these people from high school now all of a sudden they want to be actors. I'm seeing them on the regular like posting like their demo reels and like their modeling. So I see their pictures, like their profiles and stuff, and I'm just like, but didn't you guys look down amongst these people? And then it was like hella fake stuff because like I remember there was this one girl, she was really good in basketball. Like she was so dope. But she was like really quiet. She gave me like, she was like kind of shy. Like in middle school she was shy, in high school she was shy, like she was still quiet, but they still tolerated her, you know, like because she was the star athlete in the school. But behind her back, like they would talk mad shit about her. And I'm like, you know, why do we need to be friends with these people? Not only that, there was this whole other girl. All her friends was like fucking her man. And I'm just like, but they your friends though. Like, mm-mm. But yeah, guys, I've been here for officially an hour. Um, so tomorrow at the same time, I guess I'll be back on and we can do more of these like bedtime story times, whatever, I guess. Okay. So good night. Hope you all sleep tight. And I see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 12:30 because I will have a video.